Obviously, today is Tuesday, February 25th, 2020. We'll be discussing the fourth quarter 2019 outline of the Tennessee Quarterly Business and Economic Indicators Report. The report is published through a partnership between my office and Dr. Bill Fox at the University of Tennessee. The report offers a snapshot of the state's economy based on business data from my office's Division of Business Services. Just a few things I'll point about this quarter. There were 10,604 new business filings in the fourth quarter 2019, which represents a 7.8% increase over the same period last year. We now have seen positive year-over-year growth of initial filings for 33 consecutive quarters. A couple more points. Davidson County experienced the most significant growth with 2,231 initial filings, followed closely by Shelby County with 1,989 initial filings in the fourth quarter 2019. Our state unemployment rate of 3.3% is also slightly below the national average. The unemployment rates for both the state and nation remain well below historic levels. Now I'll turn over to Dr. Fox for some additional comments.
Mr. Secretary, thank you very much. Let me just reiterate what the Secretary has noted, that we now have had 33 consecutive quarters of positive growth and filings. Put that in perspective, we're in the longest economic expansion in the modern history of the U.S. We'll hit 11 years in just a couple of months, and so it has been a really, really strong time of economic growth. If you look at the growth rates of business filings, it kind of followed what's happened to GDP growth. 2019 ending a little bit slower than 18, but still in an economy that's growing at its capacity, with the unemployment rate at historically low level. 3.3 is great for Tennessee, looking really good. One thing I found very interesting in this particular quarter's data is that growth outside the big cities was on average faster than inside the big cities, and so it's great to see continuing expansion of growth outside of the biggest four counties. And indeed, actually, the growth rate in Nashville was a little weaker than some of the other big cities. But the Wall Street Journal reported just yesterday, Nashville being the second fastest growing city in the country when measured across a broad set of things. And so nothing here suggests anything other than Nashville continues to be a real leader around the nation. One final comment about the economy is that tax collections in Tennessee continue to signal growth across a diverse set of different measures. Sales tax doing very strongly in Tennessee and indicating consumers are out spending. Having said all that, Mr. Secretary, if I can add one comment here that I'm sure everybody is thinking about, the data we're putting out here are based on what happened through the fourth quarter, and it is a good leading indicator of the future. But of course, the coronavirus has come up in the meantime, and that was not reflected in any of this data, not really reflected in any economic data yet. What do we think will be the outcome of that? And I raise it to say, I don't know for sure what the outcome is going to be. If we can stop the spreading of it, then it will be very modest. SARS, for example, had very small implications, almost unmeasurable implications for the economy. As we watch the coronavirus, obviously it played some role in the stock market coming down rapidly yesterday. It has caused some closing of employment in various places around the world. We'll just have to continue to track it and see what happens. But it could create a problem if it continues to expand rapidly.
Thank you, Dr. Fox. That's a great distinction to point out, that these are from last quarter, and certainly the effect of the coronavirus will not show up in any of these numbers. Any questions for Dr. Fox?
Yes, Dr. Fox. This is Richard Lovett at WJCW Radio in Johnson City. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, Richard. How are you?
Doing well, sir. Doing well. Wanted to ask, this is, of course, a presidential election year. How do you see that affecting the state and the national economy?
Well, I don't think the presidential election year itself will have much implications on the economy. It may go the other way around. This strong economy is certainly a selling point for any incumbents. And it looks at this point to be a strong economy throughout the year. That's what the leading indicator is signaling. And barring some kind of really big setback from something like a coronavirus, we expect 2020 to be a good economic growth year. Obviously, political leaders have incentives to keep the economy strong in a year like this. And so, it wouldn't be shocking that if we were to see slowdowns caused by, again, something like coronavirus, and please recognize, I'm not forecasting that. I'm just saying if things continue to get worse, you could imagine the interest rates, Fed fund rate getting pushed down several more times this year, even some spending at the federal level to stimulate the economy. And so if there's an implication, it will, I think, be even stronger efforts to keep the economy growing strongly in 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Well, Dr. Fox, as always, thank you for your analysis and your partnership and working with us on this newsletter. And we will have the link posted shortly and appreciate y'all's participation. Have a great day.